Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Rethage, and tonight I'm going to give you a persuasive speech on why I feel women should not be in direct combat positions and jobs in the military. Out of 1.4 million in our armed forces today, 200,000 are women serving courageously and proudly. From freeing a man to fight in World War II to being a truck driver and flying combat missions in Iraq and Afghanistan today, women have certainly played a very important role in America's history and in our nation today. But, there's an ongoing argument, an ongoing debate about women serving in our military, and more specifically, women serving in direct combat roles. I've been in the military 23 years. I've been in a combat environment. I've been in peacetime environments. I've served mostly with male Marines, but in some units, I have served with female Marines. And I'll tell you, they have done phenomenal. I've served with female Marine pilots in Iraq, and they were awesome. I believe women should serve in our armed forces. They should be trained to fight and protect themselves. But definitely they should not be in direct combat roles, direct combat jobs. Today's warfare is not against a uniformed military. The bad guys do not have on uniforms like we do. There is no line drawn in the sand on the battlefield. Our global war on terrorism is not like World War II, where we fought the Germans, the Japanese, and Italians. They were in uniforms. They had defined battlefields. Today, overseas, everywhere we go is a potential combat zone. We could be driving down the road, delivering food and water on a humanitarian mission in Iraq, and we get hit with a roadside bomb. In an instant, that peaceful humanitarian mission turns into a combat mission, and we got the bad guys firing rockets at us, machine guns at us, and we have to fight back. With that said, I believe all jobs need to be trained to repel the enemy's assault by fire maneuver, or repel the enemy's assault by fire or close combat. Because you never know, no matter what job you have. You could be a cook, a baker, a candlestick maker, and you still need to know how to use your machine gun, how to use your rifle, know how to fight as a woman in the military. But direct infantry roles like machine gunner, tank operator, sniper, Army Ranger, Navy SEALs, they kick down doors, they throw grenades in, and they fire and kill. They spray the rooms and go room to room, house to house, aggressively, okay? Actively seeking out the bad guy to kill them. That's what they do. That's what we do as male soldiers and Marines and Navy SEALs. This mission, this job, should be left to men only. Okay? We should exclude women from these types of direct combat roles, and I'll tell you why. Women are not as physically strong. It's a proven fact. We men have bigger muscles, stronger bones, our oxygen level is higher, we have bigger hearts, okay? We can carry heavy machine guns, we can carry packs for long durations, and men are more equipped to do that. On a side note, listen to this. Nothing to do with the military. Listen to this one. There are currently no women in the National Basketball Association, no women in the National Football League, Major League Baseball, or National League Hockey, or any other professional sport. The reason for their absence has nothing to do with discrimination, but is flatly rooted in the fact that women biologically are not able to perform physically at the same level as men. And that holds true for the military. Number two, women are not designed emotionally to fight and protect like men are. Women will fight and protect their children, and they will stand up for themselves. They are courageous like that. But that's not what I'm trying to explain here. I'm talking about combat missions, seeking out the bad guy and viciously killing them, shooting them, stabbing them, and if needed, we must kill them with our own bare hands. That's violent, aggressive, that's nasty work, ladies and gentlemen. Nasty work. All right, it's downright nasty. Men have testosterone that make us more aggressive. The good Lord made us like that for a reason. I believe women are more nurturing, more loving, and overall, they do not have the instincts to kill as rapidly as men do. And plus, we as men, we want to protect the women. That will hurt the combat mission because we want to protect the women. That's our natural instinct. Another reason women should not be in combat is a distraction. Distraction of the opposite sex. Men, we need to be focused in on our A game in combat missions. Women by nature will distract us. We want to be with them, we want to start a relationship with them, and possibly have sex with them in the combat zone. That's not good. Okay? That's not good. They will definitely cause us to get off our A game. Just saying, okay, I'm just saying, it's just human nature. Look at this cardboard cutout right here, okay? If she was in a combat zone, she'd be a distraction to me and other men trying to fight and kill the enemy. It's just human nature. Pregnancy can also affect deployability of a unit. Military readiness will be hindered because pregnant women cannot deploy for over a year and a half. On the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen, I believe there are some women who can kick down doors, throw in grenades, and spray the room with machine gun fire and be vicious and be ruthless and be able to kill at a moment's notice. But they are the exception, not the norm. And women in service now and activists in the Pentagon acknowledge the reality that many women in the military already face combat missions. They already face combat on the battlefields in Iraq and Afghanistan. And more than 200,000 women have served in those wars, and more than 800 have been wounded in action, and more than 130 have been killed in action. From rocket fire, from roadside bombs, from vehicle accidents, and helicopter crashes. Approximately 90% of all military occupations have already been open to women in the military for quite some time. And that's great, and they're doing a great job. The 10% of jobs that have been restricted to men only on the front lines, direct combat roles, require significant physical strength such as infantry, artillery, and armory jobs. But just last year, in 2015, a decision by our government makes all military combat positions open to women. All military combat jobs open to women. The decision allows women to fill jobs that are now limited to men, including infantry, armory, reconnaissance, and special operation units. This means that as long as they are qualified and meet the standards, women will now be able to contribute to our mission in ways they could not before. They will be able to drive tanks, give orders, lead infantry soldiers into combat. This move comes despite objections. Okay, some flack from Marine Corps General Joseph Dunford. He's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who have advocated keeping some rules limited to men. This government historic announcement comes after year-long reviews and after public pushback from the Marine Corps, which has sought some exceptions to keep positions such as infantry, machine gunner, fire support, reconnaissance open only to men. A Marine Corps study suggests all male squads are more effective in combat and less likely to be injured than integrated groups. Ladies and gentlemen, women are doing a great job in our armed forces today. And they are being trained to defend themselves. They are being trained how to use their rifle, use their pistol. They are being trained on how to fight. Throughout history, they've done an awesome job in our country in many, many different roles, from nurses, helicopter pilots, supply, admin, to forklift operators and truck drivers and mechanics. And they will continue to do so. We need strong women in the military. But listen, with all that said, they need to leave the hardcore fighting, the direct combat, infantry, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, fight and kill. They need to leave those jobs to the men. We have toughness, we have testosterone, and we have a tendency to kill if needed. Thank you very much. Have a good night.